My name is Mike Keybone, and I want to tell you a little bit about my Q&A with entrepreneur Steve Hannebaum. Steve grew up here in Oklahoma City and went to college at Oklahoma State University, where he got a degree in business and finance, as well as another degree in banking. So an incredibly educated guy, very smart, very likable, lots of charisma. And I think you're going to enjoy getting to know him. One of the first things that I asked Steve in our interview was, where did it all begin? And it started early for him. He remembered his first money-making job was a paper route. And so at a very young age, he was walking and throwing papers, soon riding a bicycle and delivering papers. And then he realized that there was more out there. He wanted to do something more to make some money. And so he saved his paper route money and started mowing lawns. He saved up enough money to get his own equipment. He started mowing lawns. And then he started realizing all of these different ideas that he could use to make money. So he really fell in love with the concept of making money, reinvesting it so that he could make more money. Those early entrepreneurial desires, that hunger, started at a very young age for Steve. Now let's talk about Steve's first kiss. Now, not kiss like maybe you're thinking kiss, but actually stands for something. Steve knew his expertise, he identified a partner, and he sought an opportunity, and he sealed the deal. This was his first big moment, his first huge entrepreneurial success. He knew his expertise. So he knew that his expertise was in banking and finance and in business. And so he was a numbers guy. And in fact, his first job was working in a bank, and he did valuations for businesses, etc. And so he knew that's what he brought to the table. But he also knew that he needed to identify a partner, somebody that had that savvy, that moxie, somebody that had an instinct to recognize a good opportunity. And he found one of those partners, a guy that had an uncanny instinct for finding good deals. So together they formed a partnership, and they sought out an opportunity. Their first opportunity was an office building in a strategic location in Oklahoma City. His partner had a feeling about this spot, had a feeling about the timing, and they got an incredibly good deal. Before it was all said and done, when they sealed the deal, Steve and his partner, in their first huge entrepreneurial success, more than tripled their investment. I'd say that's a pretty good day's work. So in the Q&A, I asked Steve to share some wisdom, maybe for some young entrepreneurs out there, well, any age entrepreneur out there. And there were two things that he said that were absolutely incredible. One, he said, stick with what you know. He said that any time that he ventured out into some other opportunity that he had no expertise in, no knowledge of, every single time it was a failure. Because he didn't know how to monitor it. He didn't know how to gauge whether it was going to be successful or not. He was just taking someone's word, someone that he trusted. And he said those never panned out. He said it's always best to stick with what you're familiar with and what you know, so that you can always judge how well it's doing or how well it isn't doing. The second thing that he said was to keep on learning. That the best thing that he's ever done is that as he's growing in his business and growing in his success, that he keeps learning about his product, about his service, and that he wants to be the expert. He wants to know more than anybody about the field that he's in. So stick with what you know and keep learning. To bring it all home, for me personally, this was a story of inspiration and determination. Just seeing how Steve has worked in his entire life and how strategic he's been, how deliberate he has been at chasing his dream, inspired me as hopefully not necessarily an entrepreneur, but somebody who wants to be entrepreneurial in the way that I see ministry, the way that I see things as a pastor, in creating opportunities, not necessarily to make money, but to give people in our church an opportunity to use their gifts and abilities to reach our community. And then a determination to be able to see in him the way that he started projects and he finished them. And so that helped me as a pastor and as a person to look at everything that I do and see the starting point, see the ending point, and make sure that I do everything with excellence in between to get it done. This has been my presentation over my Q&A with Steve Hannenbaum. Thank you.